Well, there we go. So, not even gonna talk about school, because school is cool. Whatever. Well, okay, I guess I will have to. But, what happened is today I had a thing due yesterday morning at 9, but because of the holiday, they extended the deadline to tonight at 12. So I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I'll just go to school. I'll do that. I go to school. I'm trying to find a place to do it. All the classes are taken up by classes. So I figure I'll just go in this other class. So I go in this class, and it turns out they have a class too. So I'm like, frick! But the guy's like, dude, it's cool, man. Go ahead and, like, paint in here, man. So I had to paint these, like, grayscale things, and I don't even want to talk about it. But I'm painting these things, right? And I'm listening to this guy teach. He's teaching this, like, I think it's a master's level painting class of oil painting. It's pretty crazy stuff. These guys are all, like, drawing this lady who's just sitting there, and they're all just drawing. They're drawing the crap out of this lady. Painting, I apologize. And the way that this guy taught was just kind of like tweaking a little something, because he kept talking about how it was like, this is one of the things he said. He's like, it's not even about the painting, man. It's about the perception. It's about learning how to see things. It's real. That's why we're doing this. And I'm like, well, that's, you know, pretty hippie stuff, but cool. And it's not like, I'm not insulting him. I'm just like, that mindset is very just like, yeah, it's, yeah, man, that kind of thing. And he and this other lady teacher who was sitting in on the class to, like, learn how to paint, they started talking about the way that people were teaching stuff at the school. And so they're both talking about how it's like all these rules and regulations that have to do with art, really. And they're, like, complaining about it and how they have just this more liberal standpoint with it, I guess. And how it's more, like, experimental and just messing around and learning what works and just figuring out how to see and, like, make your personal mark and stuff. And so I was just listening to that in the background because, you know, what else do you do? You're sitting there painting for 4 hours. And so I'm just kind of taking that in. And then I think of another teacher that is the art teacher that I'm doing. He's very stickler about the rules and stuff, but it's because he wants us to learn really specific things. And that's fine. Like, I'm fine with that. And then there's this other teacher that's just really hardcore about remembering things. And it's, so it wasn't even the fact that this guy had this mindset. It was what I saw, what was brought to my mind was just the different way that people teach and think of how to learn. And it's what's important to them. Like, what about this subject do you think is important to teach someone? Like, if you had a car and you had to teach somebody how to drive the car, what would be the very first thing you would tell them? Like, some people would be like, oh, the seatbelt, number one. Some people would be like, well, that's the gas pedal right there. Some people, like, that's the steering wheel. It's just these, it's the same thing that people are trying to learn, but it's all these different ways that they approach it because of the different ways that they approached it and that they think is right. And it's interesting because these people have, like, 15, 20 years in whatever field they're in, like, more than that, frig. And I'm completely open to learn. I will sit there and shut up and just listen for days, but you have to switch your mindset, sort of. Like, whatever level they're operating on, you have to be like, yeah, and just, like, and tweak yourself so that you're at that specific, you're using that thought process that they approach stuff with. And then extending from that, it's the same with people, just in general, all the time, whatever level people are, I shouldn't say level, because that implies that some are higher than others. Just like whatever freaking plane of existence that they are functioning on, it's like, should you be, like, trying to, I feel like that's why charming people are charming. Because they're able to twist themselves just a little bit. They're not, like, changing who they are. They're changing their approach to when they talk to people. So then they can use what they know, but they can speak to people, like, in the way that that person operates. And it's like, should you do that? Should you change the way you, like, think? Even if it's, like, just for a little bit just to communicate better? Or should you always just be in like your solid state of mind that you've discovered by having other people influence you? So I don't think so. I think you should always be changing and shifting because, you know, change, movement, yeah, growth. But I don't know, it's weird. What do you think? I don't know. Yeah, I get it. Time's up. Have a good night, guys. Think. Peace.